So I'm Mike Heinisch. I'm the Executive Director of Kent Youth and Family Services, and I'm part of the oversight team of executives of the three agencies, Valley Cities, Auburn Youth Resources, and Kent Youth and Family Services, that has governance oversight of the Coming Up project.
And I'm Crystal Raymond with Kent Youth and Family, and I'm the mental health therapist for the Coming Up program.
And I'm Dennis Ballinger. I'm the counseling program manager at Kent Youth and Family Services, and I provide supervision and direction to Crystal for the Coming Up program.
So how would you explain the importance and significance of this to the community at large? You know, to somebody who works in a bank and they're busting their butt and they're working every day, and you know, why should they support this? Why should they care?
Well, I think the quality of life that we all want to see in our community is a big tent and is inclusive of all people, and that means all people are housed. That no business person wants to come to their business or have people complain at their business about homeless kids, young adults, or adults sleeping, whatever they're doing, in the proximity of a business. And so I think that us making a strong movement to getting these kids housed and getting them the daily life skills they need, as well as education and job, puts them into, first of all, the labor pool and begin contributing to society. Your example of a banker, they can open a bank account and start learning that whole system, so they're enriching the ability for bankers to do business locally, community banks. It just lifts the quality of life in our whole community to be addressing the needs of these kids and young adults, and making sure that they've got a place they can call home, and just help us develop a healthy community.
It seems like most of the clients that I've interviewed, by the time they get to us, they are ready for change. They're done being on the street. They're done using drugs, or they want help, and they're ready. They're ready for a change. They deserve a change, and they're definitely asking for help. So a lot of them they're ready. They're ready to have their own apartment and learn life skills, learn how to cook, clean. They're ready.
What are some of the milestones that you're seeing?
Wow, a ton. Just getting their GED, or learning how to cook, learning how to clean, life skills, just learning to have their own place is a milestone for some. Learning to brush their teeth every day and shower, and just keep their apartment clean is a milestone, because they never had that. So all that. And just learning to communicate better and talk with their families and all that. The whole thing is a milestone.
Right.
I love this job. I love being able to help people, and mine is more being able to do some work behind the scenes as well, and not all the direct service, but to support those people doing the direct service, like Crystal. And I think we've talked here, everyone at this agency is dedicated to helping people, and not just helping people, but helping people that we have seen don't have the same advantages to begin their life that other people have. And so,
elaborate on that a little bit. People don't understand that some people aren't born with the same advantages. What is that?
well, I think when I speak it to the same advantages, I mean, I could use an example of one of the people in the Coming Up program was a young woman who was homeless, and she was actually living with her family who was homeless. And so if you think about somebody who's living in their van, as we have a number of families, and we work strongly in the Kent School District, we have many families that are living in their cars, living on couches of friends. If you think about the opportunities that they have in life, whether it be access to tutoring, access to good schools, access to healthy meals so that during the day they can study, or access to even lighting at night to do their homework because they're living in their car, versus somebody who has their own room, who has a desk, who has healthy meals and so forth, the path that you begin with automatically at the beginning of life is far different. Then you add on the hardships of the emotional hardships of poverty onto that, and you come with more physical abuse, sexual abuse, verbal abuse, domestic violence. You now layer that on top of all the disadvantages that they've started with, and they have more disadvantages, versus the other kid who is moving on in life and doesn't have to face any of those same hardships. Now, where are those two going to end up? And so I have, part of my kind of passion is working to try and find justice to bring those two levels more equally together, and doing a little bit we try and help, and it takes obviously more help and more people like Crystal and Mike, our executive director, running things so all of this can happen, so that we can make changes in those lives, so that cycle isn't perpetuated, so that it can end. And a program like Coming Up begins to help impact that cycle of poverty, that cycle of violence, that cycle of hardship that puts people at disadvantages. And hopefully we begin to create younger people who are able to raise their own families and have the skills they need, and their children will have more success in life, which then whole society benefits from people being successful.